Hello, it's me again. Um, yeah, this is just me. This is gonna be me telling you what the hell I'm doing right now. So, as a founder of a company, I realized that actually I realized this quite a while ago. Um, the fact is that it's become easier than ever to actually build something, build anything, right, with AI. And the only people who win are people who actually get people to know what the hell they're building, which is why probably for the past few days I've just been so fucking insanely focused on social to the extent where I started trying to do shit like this. I mean, this single comment had 24K views in just a few hours, which is kind of impressive for me. I also started a TikTok as well. Kind of been analyzing this stuff. Um, the content here is basically AI based, but I can tell what performs better than everything else. And like as you can see, if it has a green screen, it performs better. Like this one is probably the best, um, and it has like the green screen, which is kind of funny because like this one, it doesn't have the best, even though the content is basically around the same level. So I'm just gonna start printing more green screen content. Um, and just I'll understand exactly what the algorithm wants. But yeah, um, here I'm gonna keep doing the exact same thing, basically just commenting on posts as quickly as I possibly can. Not just commenting, but commenting something insightful and also controversial enough that it actually gets people to, you know, reply and do shit like this where it's like they just go insane and they start replying. If I do that consistently enough and if I provide enough value, I don't think I won't like get really good results. So the idea is just get noticed quite a lot. Like as you can tell, look at this. They launched like some kind of a robot or whatever. Um, I mean, okay, that's not really what I'm doing. What I'm doing is sort of data. I'm more into the data side, which is something a bit more. It's a bit less flashy, um, which is probably even more. It's why it's even more, crucial for me to actually start talking about the stuff I'm doing. So X is becoming sort of playground for me where I play around and I'm also learning from other people who are doing similar things. I'm trying to sort of see why what they do works and then trying to copy it. I've already been doing this for like a really long time. I kind of stopped though for like months. Only got back into X a few weeks ago. And right now, I'm just gonna go all in on X, YouTube, and I guess TikTok for short form. Because I feel like I'll get a ton of traction. TikTok is just to get eyes on face. Um, X is to get heart, is to get face on heart, and then YouTube is to get heart on. I guess you could call it soul. Okay, basically, I'm just transitioning to longer and longer forms of content. Um, I just want people to see me and then to understand what I'm about and then to understand what I have to offer. Um, this is basically it. Yeah, it'll just be me like growing my business just like this. Um, but besides this, yeah, I don't really have too much to share. I guess I could talk about like the crazy shit that happened in the past 24 hours, but I feel like everyone's talking about that. Um, how Grok 3 went insane, how Casta Semenya, okay, okay. Yeah, Grok 3 went insane. Um, the whole of X went insane. And I feel like it was a marketing stunt. I feel like everything was planned, everything was scripted, even to the point where the CEO kind of resigned. I feel like she may have wanted to resign for a really long time because she knew what the hell Elon was planning, and I feel like they planned everything perfectly, and now they put it into action, and then they watched as the entire world went insane for Grok 3, and then watched Grok 3 die, and then somehow out of the ashes came out this Grok 4 that's actually a million times better. It's almost the best model in the world right now. But again, this type of stuff moves so fast. Wouldn't be surprised if it only takes about 2 weeks before someone releases something that's like better again. That's just how things are. So it's not about these foundational models. Um, at the end of the day, I feel like LLMs are, they might be smart, but that's all they are. I don't know. It's like they they lack something very, very important. I don't know what that is yet, but I feel like with my research and sort of what I've been doing, playing around with models, creating models, right? Because I created an image, sort of an object detection model using RoboFlow, and basically I created a dataset in RoboFlow, and then I used YOLO V8 in a Google Colab to just um, train the whole dataset. In after 100 epochs, it was getting about a good, a sort of a good detection score, which is good enough to detect players. So you can imagine how insane all this was. I had to manually label uh, data sets, which the data set currently has about 400 images. That's a lot of images, but ideally you want more images just so that the AI has more to train on. So yeah, those 400 images, I labeled them. I actually labeled, it was probably 200, but I multiplied them just by changing certain sort of aspects about them. So it's like rotating the image and changing the color, the aspect ratio. You can get a really interesting varied data set just by changing those types of things. This is everything that I've been learning. I had to like relearn Python from the ground up. I had to, yeah, and this is, it's so fucking cool. I mean, in all this time, I've kind of come to the conclusion that there are probably 5 levels of leverage when it comes to anything we might ever experience in this new world that's coming or that's maybe already here, um, especially in relation to AI. The first level, I don't really consider this as a level because I feel like it's a dying level, and I feel like anyone who stays on this level is definitely looking to die. Um, Relatively speaking, like not realistically, but like relatively speaking, these are the people who aren't using AI. So it's the skeptics, it's the people who literally are throwing, like who are boycotting. It's everyone who's just maybe even if you don't even know it exists, which is like practically impossible. But all those people are going to basically just become irrelevant because they'll have zero leverage. The second level is people who use AI on the basic level. So they chat with it, they get it to make some content so that they could post online or whatever. I used to be this type of person probably a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. That was when I started playing around with AI and started understanding just how insane it was when it was like I was playing around with GPT-3. Um, and those people, as much as they'll be able to do things quicker, you know, there'll still be a stopgap. For one thing, they'll probably be paying for services, or maybe even if they get the service for free, it won't actually like be anything special because there will always be someone who has something better. So as much as they have more leverage than someone who isn't using AI, they still don't have that much leverage. The third people are people like I don't even need to scroll down too much. I'll probably just find someone who's building something with AI. Yeah, and that's exactly the type. Um, it's those people who are building with AI, sort of integrating AI, wrapping some kind of app around it. And is this an ad? Oh, it's an ad for Pump.Fun. Okay. I wonder just how long this is going to take to get integrated with AI. Okay, so people like Roy Lee or so on and so forth, they build really cool shit with AI, and everyone sort of starts using the applications, and then they get funded by VCs. Um, that's basically the leverage that they get. It's the ability to provide really useful products and services to people, just by sort of taking what is available, making it useful, even more useful for some incredibly uh, niche use case, and then selling it, putting a price tag on it. So that is the third level of leverage. The fourth level, this ad is insane. The fourth level uh, of leverage is the people who actually create the models. So, as you might imagine, I have just been on this tirade of literally just graduating from one level to another. I started by not even knowing about AI. Actually, I was hearing about it back in 2020 ish. I was back when I was still a university student, and like, the CS kids were talking about it. I was like, AI, what is that? Um, it sounds really cool because like you see it normally on, you know, shows and television or whatever. But you genuinely, back then, I just didn't see it. Um, Even after that, in 2023, when I started playing around with GPT-3, I still didn't see it. It could generate text or whatever, and that was cool, but it was still trash. Um, it worked well enough to give me a little bit more time in the day, but it was still trash to the extent where you like you could only get so much use out of it. You could feed it code and it would still give you really bad code. That has all changed. Um, and in all that time, I've also been changing, um, leveraging up, I guess you could say. I went from someone who's just barely using it, to someone who could build something around it, whether it was through AI automations or just apps, AI integrated apps. And finally, now I find myself in this incredible space where I am now creating the models that are going to be integrated, that I am going to be integrating into apps, into anything, everything. And I realize now that I've actually started doing this, just how much, I'm not going to say power, but I'm just going to say use I can get out of it. It's so insane how what you can do with the right data and the right algorithm for training a model. Like, the more I learn about all these different sort of ways to transform data, ways to have or create a neural network that gets some kind of understanding. And when I say understanding, it's not actually an understanding, it's just probabilities. They look at a bunch of data and then they have something that they have to watch out for. And then they calculate the probabilities of certain things being in certain positions or certain things looking a certain way. Or, you know, that's basically it. And then it comes out as just a bunch of probability weights. Those weights are really important. Those weights are literally the things that determine whether or not something's worth $1, $10, $100,000, or $1 million. or even $1 billion. Um, it's literally all about the weights. It's all about the models. At least that's what I thought, right? But if you actually notice, we're only on the fourth level, because the fifth level is a hidden level. It's a level most people don't even think about, but it's becoming clearer and clearer now with all the Stargate and the huge data centers that are being built by Elon Musk and everyone else. It is the infrastructure layer, right? It's literally the infrastructure layer is all the people who are actually going to be controlling the compute, right? You can build as many models as you'd like. If you can't even get the model to compute anything, um, you might as well not have built it, because it's going to take a really long time to actually just be useful. But these compute facilities, the ones that are probably going to get rented out, right? Like whoever owns them is going to own literal real estate. Because you could think about models as people. Um, how the hell are those people going to live so that they can be useful? Or where are they going to live? They're only going to be living in those rented facilities, in those rented data centers where they can do compute on like really useful tasks. Um, if the entire internet is going to be just a bunch of agents just working and doing really cool stuff, how is that going to work without compute centers? It's impossible. So that is literally the highest level of leverage. That's why every government is watching this, because I think they understand this, and I'm only starting to understand this. I'm also starting to realize just how huge this game is. Like I've only just sort of peeked into the fourth level of leverage, and there's like a whole fifth one that it feels so far away, because I know just how much you need, like funds. You need real fucking funds, and but I'm not entirely worried about that. As far as I'm concerned, those facilities will take years to actually develop and be useful. As much as you could build one like very quickly, like Elon Musk did, I think he did it in like a year, and it was like the biggest for like a bit of time. But that's obviously going to end, because they're just going to build bigger and bigger facilities on. Yeah, it's all going to come with its own problems, like how the hell are they going to source the energy to actually make these facilities work? um, what about all the jobs that are going to be lost as more and more AI get introduced into the sort of the world sort of job systems, I guess. That There's like a lot to think about, but I I feel like most of it is way too far ahead, or rather, even if I even if I have the ability to touch it or to actually affect it, it's not in my domain, because my domain is data analysis. It's extracting data from videos, images, uh, and using it to come up with models for understanding the world. And right now, I am learning as much as I can. I'm doing as much as I can, but I am also having as much fun as I can, which is probably the most important thing. Um, Thanks for watching, and I will see you